Hello there.
Hi there, how are you?
Doing good. How are you?
I am well today, thank you.
Good. So I'm super excited that you agreed to do this just because it's nice to see other human beings. Uh,
Definitely,
but
thanks for
first,
asking.
how's your family doing? How are you? How was your Easter?
Easter was good, so lots of different things happening at our house. So learning to adjust, watching Mass on an iPad in the kitchen together. The kids voluntarily helping cook the meal.
Nice.
But yeah, everyone's still alive, so that's always a bonus. Nobody's tackled anybody, so we're good.
Good. I love it.
Yeah,
Well, thank you for agreeing to do this. I know we
sure.
chatted last week a little bit. Um, as a leadership team, we had kind of talked about some agents in the office that have been having some results. Obviously, we're all riding this roller coaster together. Uh,
Sure.
but I just wanted to take a minute and record this. So I think in the state of Missouri, you have to tell somebody if you're being recorded. So you're being recorded. Uh,
Okay, thanks for the heads up.
yeah, we're going to push this out to our agents and agents in our area to just let them
Okay.
know that, you know, we're all going through this together, and there are some folks who are, I don't want to say taking advantage of the opportunity to grow their business or grow their mind share during this time,
Sure.
but that are more or less taking advantage of the opportunity to do so. So if I can rewind to the start of the quarantine, stay home order, COVID introduction into our lives,
Right.
what were your expectations and what was your mindset kind of as we were just jumping into that?
Sure. That's honestly a great question, right? Because we ask ourselves, are we in that business mindset? And as a mother, quite honestly, I wasn't acting in a business mindset right off the bat. I sort of went into that protective mama bear mode of let's make sure that we're sort of prepared for this. We're ready, right? Having three kids, one in college, one a senior in high school, and the other a freshman. And then adding my husband, who is also in this business, and recognizing we all have to work underneath one roof. Like, thank God the the internet has held out, right?
Right.
So making sure everybody has their own assigned space, because if there's anything, like, we have to maintain the peace, but we all have to be able to cohabitate. So my mindset initially went to, how are we going to divide this up? Where's everyone going to be? How's everyone going to manage? And we need to make sure everybody at least has some sense of normalcy. So we went that direction first, and we got everything squared away. I quite honestly think that that put us in a great position for us to then be able to focus on what that was, whether that was school or work or family. So that's sort of how my schedule started, quite honestly. And then, of course, being a realtor, we know we can take a little bit of a break and, maneuver our schedule a little bit to meet what we're doing. But once everyone was set, we needed a sense of normalcy. So as we had to get back to business.
Sure. So would it be fair to say that, and I'm kind of using our previous conversation, but not only did you jump into mama bear mode of making sure everybody had their own spaces,
Mm-hmm.
but there was kind of some fear that existed on just what was going on in
Yeah,
the world, and the people that you couldn't go visit, and older family
sure.
members and family members you didn't have the ability to be in close contact with. So how did mama bear mode mixed with fear impact
Right.
your day-to-day routine?
So, yeah, we did talk about that a little bit, because it's easy to let fear paralyze what we are used to doing and let that take over. Quite honestly, there's a little bit of anxiety there that sets in, because we have parents who have pre-existing health conditions that need to be taken care of. Our schedules are changing and without our control. And for me, I like to be in control of things. So for someone changing that and not giving me permission and basically saying, adapt to this, I did fall into watching that media presence, making sure, like, I'm watching the 12 o'clock news, the morning news. And now I have to make sure I watch this update. Two things sort of happened there, right? Um, you have to stay informed, right? You need to be a productive member of society who's following the rules.
Sure.
We're being kind and courteous to others, like recognizing where people are sort of at with their understanding of what's happening. But I think you have to stop for a second and recognize that fear cannot be the person that defines you during this time. And
Right.
especially, we're all at home with our kids. We cannot set that precedent that fear is going to control us. So quite honestly, it was going back to things that were instinctual. Something that we talked about and I told you was I continue to wear this bad boy, our bold bracelet, all the time. That was a nice reminder for me that fear is not going to define me in this moment. So turning that off, getting back to a schedule. So fear was not the thing that was controlling me, but more getting back to the thing that I was good at. And that was talking to people, touching base with people. And quite honestly, it's not business as usual, but our habits can be business as usual.
For sure. Absolutely. So where do you get your inspiration from on a daily basis? Like
Right.
when you're starting your day, or maybe you do it on Sundays, ramping up for the week,
Mm-hmm.
you're looking for, I don't love the word motivation because I think that's a finite resource. Where do you get
Sure.
your inspiration on a daily basis to continue to do what you do and not fall into, you see a bad update from the media, or you have a bad day where, your phone
Mm-hmm.
calls are somewhat doom and gloom as opposed to people feeling uplifted by you. I know we've had both of those
Yeah.
days. So where do you get that inspiration from on a daily basis?
Right. My first inspiration was from my 14-year-old daughter, who's soon to be 15, who said, "You're going out in this for a walk?" And I said I was ready. I'm like, "Yeah, I'm totally ready." I combed my hair and she's like, "Oh, I can't go with you. Um, I can't do it." But, I have some friends who quite frankly are, in businesses. A friend of mine is a chiropractor. So if anyone needs a good chiropractic referral, let me know. We hold ourselves accountable to each other, I think, as women, quite honestly. We don't let fear become that base that operates us. And she sent me something, and there's a gal, her name is Rachel Hollis. I love her. She, at the same time this was going on, had a challenge that was called the Next 90. It really sort of is very mirror, imaged of our bold. Making sure that you're setting goals for yourselves, that you are putting, the big rocks, so to speak, into your day and letting the rest filter through, but making sure you accomplish those first. A couple of things that she had was, she is 3 weeks in now, this Rachel Hollis. And so every Monday she sends an email. You can go onto her Facebook page at any time. And it was about perspective of what was happening, choosing joy over fear. So making the conscious effort to choose joy, to make sure that you're in control of something that quite frankly is controlling us, accepting change, but really coming out of that a better person, making sure that this pushes us to that next level. So it's okay to be a little bit afraid. However, that should be the underlying thing for us to be more successful. So I look to her. I make sure that I stay engaged in all of the bold Facebook groups that I've been in. So James Shaw, kudos to you. I've been watching. He gave some great information during some of his talks, and just saying, don't schedule yourself for 13 Zooms in one day. It's not going to be productive. So keeping really just, like control of what you're doing, make it manageable to your time schedule. If that's 2 calls, if that's 5 calls, great, do it. But just recognize where you're at. You might have a great day where you can do 5 or 6 of those, and you might have a day that you're like, you know what, I'm not going to fix my hair. I'm just going to the photo, and I'm only going to do 1 of these today.
Yeah.
So I'm looking to those people. Look to your accountability partners. I talked with a couple of other agents, when I was out and I showed a couple of houses. You doubt yourself that first time out, like, hey, should I be doing this? Is everybody else doing that?
Right.
So I touched base with a couple of agents to say, are you guys out showing properties? And sure enough, everyone was, but of course, different sort of protocol, different way to show properties.
Yep.
Yeah. So that's where I've been.
Great. So how has your routine and your activities changed from, like, give us a day in the life from,
Sure.
Maybe that first 10 days, week, or whatever it was a little sketchy as far as activities are concerned, but how has your days evolved now that you're getting, kind of, I don't want to say back into production, but maybe a
Sure.
little bit more business focused as opposed to being the mama bear?
So part of that motivation came from a very unexpected message from a client that I had from 2013. Good friend in the business, had just done some electrical work on my house, helped him purchase a house together. And I wake up one morning to a fantastic message that says, I just wanted to thank you so much for all that you did for our house and finding the perfect neighborhood for us. I couldn't have pictured a better neighborhood to be quarantined in. And P.S., I checked out your new website. It's fantastic. Congratulations. So that unexpected message, that fear that was there that week before, that 10 days before, of do I call them? Do they want to hear from me?
Yeah.
What am I going to say? It was really my welcoming to say, hey, people are out there. These are your sphere. They know you. They're waiting to hear from you. So don't let fear take control. So where you're not reaching out. So that was really my green light to go like, okay, I'm calling all my vendors. I'm texting all my clients, and I need to stay in contact with them because I think each of us have our own sphere that recognize each of our own personalities.
Sure.
So use that. If I go dark here in this time, like I always tell my clients, we are going to have a hiccup in this process, but we're not going to run into a hurdle. So if I run the other way now and I'm afraid to contact them, doesn't say a lot about me. So guess what? They expect me to call them. They expect me to say hello.
Yeah.
So I did. So my schedule changed to the point where I was getting up in the morning. I am listening to my motivation, whether that is a phone call with Amy, a quick chat with Jim about where we're at for the day. That sort of motivation to challenge myself to set that schedule, not so tight where I'm working, 9 to 5, but I have that freedom and that flexibility in there to really mold that schedule to that day. But adding in the lead gen, and we're looking at that lead gen a different way. Showing houses, also looking at it a different way. Setting up buyer's consultations, listing appointments, but instead of meeting them in person at the office to do those consultations, I'm now doing Zoom calls with them. So it's challenged me to learn new things, and I'm really enjoying it. It's fun. I like it.
So can I ask, and you don't have to give us specifics, but how have your results been impacted by that? What, that mind shift, that activity change,
Yeah.
like that's great. But if you've called 432 people and left 432 voicemails, I would assume that your energy is a little different than if you're actually getting some
Right.
quality leads and some energy around it. So would you mind sharing with us what your results have been?
Yes, like literally, and I'm all right being specific with this one because I was excited about it.
Yeah.
So last Monday, my phone rings in the morning, and it was after my follow-up with the website, and I get a referral from a past client. I'm like, oh, this is great. All right, things are turning around. I get a second. I get a third. By the end of the day, I have 5, and I'm seriously like, this is awesome.
Yeah.
So 5 referrals in one day, and I'm like, hey, I got to get these scheduled. So I was excited. Next day, I got another one. So I'm like, this is fantastic. It was really is a welcome surprise to go, hey, people are liking what I'm saying. People are loving that we're checking in. So yeah, it was pretty cool to reap the benefits and the rewards of that. The most important thing, we always talk about this, right? Part of our job description is that follow-up. And if I cannot stress to everybody enough, make sure you follow up. Otherwise, all of these calls, these texts, they're for naught, right? They might make you feel good, but in 60 days from now, 90 days from now, feeling good's going to be a really good feeling when you have a closing, not just to say, I had a good feel-good call, 60 days ago. You want to make sure you take that to the next level. So don't forget that part.
I love that. That was actually my I guess wrap up question is, what's the message, right? So what's the message, not just to our agents, there's 300 plus of us here that are all in this together, but there's, thousands in the St. Louis area. And I hope that some of them get the opportunity to see this. What is the message? But obviously the fortune is in the follow-up, and we've heard that for forever.
Sure.
And now it's more true than ever. But what would be your message to agents that are just either trying to get out of bed or trying to get off their couch or trying to go get another piece of business? What's your message to them?
if you're uncomfortable with making it about business, right? You're afraid to take that first steps because you don't know what someone's going to say to you, then don't make it about business. We can all be kind. We can all be genuine. Come from a place of sincerity. Make sure if you have that friend who is a paramedic, fireman, policeman, a grocery store clerk, just follow up with them and say, hey, I'm thinking of you. Stay healthy. Because they're going to know you. They're going to know that that comes from a place of, really genuine concern. So
Yeah.
don't be afraid to do that. That is something that they would expect from you anyway. So, challenge yourself to do new things, to tackle new things. Are you going to master them? Hell no. Like, no.
Right.
Well, there's going to be a lot we're all going to learn. But put yourself out there, learn new things. But be kind, make the call, come from a genuine place. And, if you can develop that into a relationship, it's not something that we're taking for them. I always tell people, you're offering something, right? We all say that this is our career, this is what we do, it's our profession. Don't take that back. It's all right to offer it to someone. If they need your help, they're going to ask.
Yep.
But if you don't put yourself out there, they don't even know that you're available to them.
Sure. I think you brought up a really good point, and it might be something that we don't talk enough about. You mentioned firefighters, nurses, EMTs, police officers, grocery store clerks, things like that. Everybody is home or quarantined to a certain extent. And many jobs have been put on hold or furloughed, or people have
Sure.
to go. But there are a lot of folks that are still out there working, not because necessarily they want to, but because that's their means to feed their family.
Mm-hmm.
And they're going out there and risking their health for our convenience and for our benefit, whether it's gas station workers or grocery store. I mean, you name it, the people that are supporting those essential pieces of our economy,
Absolutely.
I don't think get enough love. So if you have people like that in your database, what a great conversation and a great touch to have with someone that has nothing to do with business, but is just giving love and gratitude. I think it's a great point, and I'm glad you brought it up, and I hope that people heard that message.
So both of my showing specialists, Tina and Emily, we've been keeping touch, and showing a couple of properties, but really just, saying hello to one another. How you doing? What do you need? Both of them have friends who are in that field, and they followed up. Tina's friend is a nurse, and she had talked about wanting to move and to buy and to sell before this. And Tina's like, this is a really nice thing because I've been able to keep in touch with her, to say hello, to check on her. And it simply came from Tina coming from a place of just saying, I know what you do for a living, and I'm very grateful for you.
Yeah.
You're very heroic. And that wasn't looking for business. She was simply saying, like, we really appreciate what you're doing.
Yep.
I know every time I go to the grocery store, I will say to a stock boy, whoever is there, my bagger, thank you for coming to work so I can get what I need for my family. I really appreciate you.
Yep.
And they're they are just very much so not expecting that. And when you see them smile, like they have been thanked, it's a great feeling.
Yeah. I love it. Well, Kelli, thank you so much for doing this. I applaud you and all of your efforts and everything that you're doing. I can't wait to see kind of what's next for you. And I hope that everybody gets something out of this.
I appreciate it. Thanks for having me, and thanks for checking in. And you guys have been doing a great job keeping up. I know our office has been checking in with everybody, keeping up on trainings. And quite honestly, I think that's going to help a lot of us stay on schedule. So we don't attend all of them, but we're very happy that they're there. So thank you for keeping up on that.
Well, thank you. All right. Take care. Have a good day.
All right. See ya. Bye-bye.